Hello there. This afternoon I've decided to again use up some of my leftover bits. When you get to a point where it's at the bottom of the jar and there might be a couple of tablespoons of paint left, or the little bits left over from pours that you've done. And in this cup I know there is some crimson, some yellow, some green, some gold, some white, and I am going to inject a couple of things into that cup just to give it a little bit more of a zip along, to do a bit of experimentation. So the colours or colour that I'm going to add with my pipette is my mix of blue and teal, and I'm just going to inject that right down into the centre of the cup and the sides of the cup to get it right down mixed into the paint. And another one down in there, and whatever I can get in the last few spots of it down in there. Okay, so that has been done. I'll just pop that aside. And my other additive is going to be dimethicone, which I am going to do the same thing with. I'm going to get a nice bit into the pipette. Not a lot, well, yeah, probably is actually. About a teaspoon maybe. And I'm going to dot a bit there, and dot a bit there, and dot a bit down there. And it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. And I'm going to do a flip cup with this. So I'm going to put my hand flat on the canvas and over, like so. And just leave that to sit for a little while to see what it does. Right, well that's been sitting for a couple of minutes now, so it's time for me to pull the cup back and tip it up. Well, the colours are certainly unusual. I knew there would be a lot of the gold, of course. It was on the top. I'm surprised so much of it is in the base as well, because there was quite a bit of gold left over. So before I start to tilt the colours, I'm just going to give it a quick torch to get rid of the air bubbles. And I know there is, of course, dimethicone in there. It'll be interesting to see what sort of cells are formed from those. But I am going to start tilting it now to see what I can get. Okay, well, certainly not much of the crimson, but I have had the cup sitting on its side sort of for a few moments, so I'm going to see what I can get out of the cup now. I might even use my knife to get the last bits of colour out, particularly crimson, and just drizzle it through the painting. that's enough of the what I call my fiddling around. I'm going to get my corner catcher now to continue with the tilting, so that I can stop too much paint going over, as there is not a great deal of it on the canvas. Okay, I don't think I had quite enough paint in the cup to do what I really wanted to do with it, but I have certainly got some bright, happy colours going on here. I'm just trying to bring the paint a little bit more back towards the centre. And then I will give it a torch. Right. So I need to just fill in a couple of edges where it hasn't quite gone over properly. And that will do. I wasn't quite sure again what I was going to get. It's always a surprise to me. Sometimes it's a bit of a shock. I'm glad I did the last pieces of red or crimson drizzle to break up the green, and of course managed to bring down some of the yellow as well while I was about it. Didn't get much from my blue. So what I might do now is just get my palette knife and the leftover bits of blue that I have here, and just see if I can work some blue through the picture onto the canvas, just to give it a little bit of blue definition, particularly in areas such as here, where I just want to take it through. And it just gives it that slight difference in appearance. Also in this edge along here. As you can see, it's already starting to make a different sort of definition. Okay, well, I think I'll leave that there. It's certainly interesting and different, and well, it was a way of using up my leftover paints. I can't honestly say that I think it's wonderful, but it's another adventure for me. So once again, thank you very much for joining me, and I'll see you next time.